Hello, hello. Welcome into AniMan Plus, what episode are we on, Zach? 89.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Episode 89. We're back after a couple weeks off. I went on vacation. It was phenomenal. I'm glad to be back here on this show because we have a lot to chat about. The fall season has started. We're a little late to the game on this, but better late than never. And as always, I got Zach here with me over Discord. Zach, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. I'm really happy with this because we have a lot less than we thought we were.
For now.
That's still a lot less than what we thought.
For now. You know, I still plan on checking out that Shinobi show. I still plan on watching that. And then To Your Eternity starts in I think it starts here in like a couple days. Yeah, that'll be on the lineup. So it's still gonna be a lot, here soon, more than likely. We'll see how the Shinobi show does. If it does pretty well, then it may be on the lineup for us. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we got To Your Eternity though, My Hero Academia, Chainsaw Man, Bleach, Mobile Suit Gundam, Witch from Mercury, Blue Lock, still freaking Dragon Quest, but we're almost done. We got this episode to chat about, which Zach's on a time limit for, and then we got one more episode and we are done. We are free from this thing that we've been doing for 100 episodes now. So,
yeah,
unfortunately. So
not even 100 episodes because we've skipped several.
That's true. We have taken multiple but basically for 88 episodes that Dragon Quest has been on here, because I think it was like episode 1 it was not, probably more like 87
it was
episodes,
like episode 3, so for 86 episodes I've said something about Meme Quest.
Yes, unfortunately that's just the world that we live in, but it's almost over. We're almost free, but no, we definitely appreciate it if you subscribe to this wonderful channel, give a like on this video, be a friend, tell a friend, of course. So as I've mentioned before, we are partnered with Agent Inc. That's super cool. Our shop is about to launch here very, 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 very soon. I promise this time. We are down to the final 2 pieces of the shop we're working on right now. And one of those pieces is AniMan Plus related. And it's going to look super cool. And you need to go buy it because it's going to be super cool. And you're going to want it. And it's super cool. So get excited because it's super cool. Can't wait to show off that here in the near future. Also, shout out to the Josh Pillow. Always here, always watching out for us, always there as a good pal. He tried to argue with me earlier that he's not a weeb. And as he was arguing with me that he's not a weeb, he kept using the word weeb in larger forms than just weeb. And I point out that just further makes you a weeb if you're coming up with new terms involving the word weeb. Where he's like, I'm not a weeb, I'm a weeblet. And I'm like, no, you're a weeb. And he's just like, I'm a weeblet. He's like, I'm a weeblet. I haven't gone through my weeb formation yet. I'm like, the fact that you're combining weeb into other words further proves you're a weeb, Josh.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no difference there. What the heck's a weeblet?
Like a baby weeb. That's the way he was trying
That's not a thing.
Yeah, I know. That's the way he was trying to defend himself, is that he was a baby weeb. But anyway, he's always there for us in the corner. Also, shout out to the wooden Goku behind me. Did I show that off on AniMan Plus yet? I don't remember.
Because you got that after.
Okay, let me show that off because that's really good. This is the show that it applies to. So we got a very big project going on over here at Sparky 3. It's gonna be super cool. That should also get revealed in a couple weeks. Really excited for that. And my contractor that's working on this wonderful project made me a wooden Goku for decoration. It's super cool, super clean. If you listen to the audio version, you need to go over to youtube.com/Sparky3 and go to about probably 5 minutes into the video and look at how cool this is. So, super cool. Be a nice backdrop. Yeah, very excited to show off the big project here soon. With that big project reveal, I think we can go ahead and just say what we're going to do, Zach. I think we're already mentally locked into it, yeah?
I mean, yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's not that too far away.
Yeah, that's true. So we have the big project we're revealing soon. We have the Agent Inc. shop that's launching soon with a really cool AniMan Plus thing. And then also, so it's not the lone wolf of the Sparky 3 pack anymore of the weekly shows. AniMan Plus will become a live show, just like Game Static, just like Terrible Football Show. We will be going live on Thursdays, which is when we normally record, and then we release episodes Sunday or Saturday, depending on how I feel. But yeah, going live here in the near future. I'm more details on the live stuff to come. I'll say that. So, super excited for that. It's gonna be super cool. I don't know what time. We'll figure that out here in a couple weeks. We'll figure it out. It's not a big deal.
It'll probably be 5 or 6, just give or take.
Yeah, that's my guess. Yeah, like a 5:30ish, maybe, kind of like a terrible football show. Pretty much every show goes live about 5:30ish. Then, yeah.
Hey, we stay consistent.
Yeah, we got one thing going on for us, and someday we'll actually hit our motto of spark entertainment excitement every day. We'll hit that sooner or later. Probably eventually. Later than sooner, though. All right, I'm gonna start turning down the music. We'll go ahead and start having some conversations here about everything going on. Before we really dive into stuff, we got a lot to dive into, honestly, truthfully, because we did take those couple weeks off. We're already behind the ball on these fall shows, which is the greatest season of anime to ever come out this fall season, in my opinion.
I've been seeing a lot of people say that with promoting it.
I mean, that's the best way to promote it, man. I mean, because that's what it is. But I mean, anything that we want to shout out and chat about. Shout out to the return that I never thought we would see. Hunter x Hunter actually had a new chapter come out. I never thought we'd. I honest to God thought we were gonna see the unfortunate news one day of a passing, and just never get a continuation. That's what I really thought was gonna happen. So I'm glad to see that that is not the case, and there is chapters still coming out.
Well, sort of. We got the Hunter x Hunter continuation, and on the other side of that, from the monthly magazine, or not monthly magazine, but same magazine that Tokyo Revengers and stuff comes out in, Ace of the Diamond Part 2 finished.
Yep, Ace Diamond Part 2, and then Tokyo Revengers is about to finish.
Yes.
I feel like they got a lot to wrap up in a few chapters.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a messy ending. Do you think that too?
Maybe. Depends on how they want to do it.
Yeah, because like the news came out this week that Tokyo Revengers is ending within the next 5 chapters, and it's just like, yikes, bro. I feel like that's a lot of plot points to try to wrap up in not even for sure 5. It just said less than 5 chapters, whatever. So that's a lot of plot points to try to wrap up in that amount of time. But Tokyo Revengers will also have 3 big announcements in the next 3 weeks on the October 27th, November 3rd, and November 10th. Obviously, one of those will be the second season. Another one will probably be the next live-action movie that was previously announced, and I don't know what the other one could be. We'll see.
Video game.
There you go. From Bandai Namco.
Exactly.
Yep.
No, but another thing, what ended in Shonen Jump this week is the series I'd actually been reading, but we hadn't brought over, was Super Smartphone. That ended this week.
Yeah, that one didn't live long.
No, but it's getting a graphic novel.
Okay. That's interesting for a series that gets axed.
Yeah, it finished on a very strange note with a reveal, and it's just like the end. If you want to continue the story, it'll be in the graphic novel. I was like, all right.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, also, just so we're still at the beginning of the show here, and I clarify myself, the new Hunter x Hunter chapter comes out this Sunday. Has not come out yet. My fault.
Okay.
Comes out October 23rd. I don't read Hunter x Hunter. I'm sorry. For any Hunter x Hunter fans that heard me 2 minutes ago, like, oh, it doesn't come out yet. What is he talking about? I make mistakes too. But yeah, October 23rd.
All the 40-year-olds going, Hunter x Hunter!
What? Basically. So Josh right now. Also, I just saw this. This was posted 1 hour ago from right now when we're recording at 5:27 p.m. on October 20th from the official Shonen Jump Twitter. New series alert starting this Saturday. It is another one of the spin-off Naruto series getting a manga adaptation. Kind of like, you remember the one where it was Sakura trying to go meet Sasuke? That little 12... Yeah, okay. Well, that was a thing. It was like 12 chapters. Okay. It was very good, and they also put it in Boruto. And I don't remember what it was called, like Summer, like Spring Blossom something. I don't remember what it was called. But yes, there is a new one starting this week. It's Naruto Sasuke's Story, the Uchiha and the Heavenly Stardust, the manga. This was a light novel, I'm pretty sure, and it's going to focus on, obviously, Sasuke, and it's also going to focus on Sakura, so you're going to get a lot of interactions between the two of them. And there is dinosaurs, is it? Yep, there's dinosaurs. Yep. Honestly, like, looking at the lead cover, like, there's a raptor, and it straight up looks like Blue from Jurassic World. Straight, like, it has the blue marking. It, like, straight up looks like Blue. But yeah, apparently all the dinosaurs are just summons, is what it is. Which there were some people like I saw in the comments, just like for all the people like blown away by dinosaurs, like literally like Kid Sasuke had dinosaur toys and stuff. Like dinosaurs is in this universe. You got fucking like toads, giant snakes, and demons and people and all sorts of stuff as summons. The dinosaur's not out of the question.
I was about to say it really isn't. It
No.
honestly doesn't surprise me. I was like,
Yeah.
it makes sense. There's some
Yeah,
realm out there that's
exactly.
just dinosaurs.
Yeah. So it is what it is. But also shout out to today, once again, October 20th, 23 years ago, One Piece first aired. Shout out to that. Quite the run. Quite the run. Zach, you got anything else you want to shout out, or shall we go ahead and get into stuff?
No, I think we're good.
All right, let's get it because we got a lot to go over. Let's see. All right, so yeah, on the lineup today, of course, we got My Hero Season 6, Chainsaw Man, Spy Family, Blue Lock, Meme Quest, Gundam, and Bleach is on today's lineup. And then hopefully next week that Shinobi show, whatever it's called, will be on the lineup. We'll see. We'll see if it hooks me or not. But I will start off the anime chat here with a summer series that's been done for like 3 weeks now. But I went on vacation, haven't had a chance to chat. I'm not gonna like talk about it in full detail. But Summertime Rendering, a series that I watched over the summer. The finale did take place like right after we recorded the last episode, and it was a beautiful finale. It wrapped up in glorious, beautiful, tear-jerking fashion, and I loved it. I loved every fucking second of it. This series is a damn masterpiece to me, and it's one of my favorite series of all time now. It wrapped up so beautifully. Everything about it was beautiful.
I assume you'll finally get that second box and just stick it right there next to your 86 books.
Yep. Get the second box to put somewhere up there. Yep. Up there. Yep. Put it up there. And it's going to look great. Can't wait. But no, it is a masterpiece. As I try to fix my camera now. Close enough. That's fine. It's close enough.
That's good.
Yeah. But yeah, it was phenomenal ending. I feel the same way about this ending as I did about the 86 anime ending. But 86, I did feel a lot stronger on. That was a peak beautiful ending. You know what I mean? Like, they did that ending so damn well with 86.
Part 1?
Part 2.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect ending to me for 86. And Summertime, this one, of course, wrapped up the series as a whole. For 86, it just wrapped up that entire season, whatever. There's obviously more content, but this just wrapped up the series of Summertime Rendering, and it was just perfect. Absolutely phenomenal. I would recommend go watching the show, finding a way to watch it, which will always be a crime about this show. All right, now that I got that out of the way, dude, there's so much where it's just like I never know what do we want to lead this show off with on a norm. Like, what do we want to do here? There's so much.
Spy Family?
We can lead off with Spy Family today. Because we got the introduction of Bond, like full introduction. He was teased in the first part.
Yes.
Earlier this year, but got the full introduction to him and the fact that he can see the future and had a whole, wonderful interaction between him and Anya, trying to, make sure bombs don't kill Twilight and stuff. And it was some pretty solid content for those couple episodes. And then Bond ended up joining the family, which is, it's super sweet, honestly, is the best way to put it.
Bond is a very entertaining character.
See, and like for the people listening that like haven't like watched Spy Family or even read the manga, that let's just say people that haven't read the manga, right, and are just watching the anime only, they're just like, it's just a dog. How entertaining can it be? Oh, he can be very entertaining. Trust us.
Bond is literally another character. He's not just an animal that's there. But he is another character because there's several stories that are just focused on Bond.
Yes, Bond has his times, man. He has his times, dude. I love Bond. Bond's an adorable doggo that needs to be protected with our lives. But I'm glad that we've got that full introduction of him now and part of the gang and stuff, and already started to see, like going to the dog park and stuff like that, and seeing the impact that he's already going to have, like, with his role in this show.
Yes.
I'm here for it. I love it. I love Bond so much. No,
it's the dog park scene of him, the other dog barking at Anya, and then him just straight up still chilling there.
Yeah, just standing over
pushing him up. when he's a coward.
Yeah, exactly. No, I love it. Love Bond, dude. Also, I want to give a shout out as well. Man, I love Bump of Chicken so much. Like,
Bump Chicken is good.
like this isn't like, a top 10 anime intro of all time for me or anything, but dude, just Bump of Chicken just fucking crushes everything that they do. Like,
Like even like when I first watched the first episode, I texted you about it. I was like, it doesn't seem like it was such a hard transition from the opening of the first part to this part
yeah.
because Bump Chicken has tons of great music videos, and
Yep.
I was just like, it just looks like the animation studio just went, "Hey, can we have y'all's animation and we'll just work on the series?"
Yeah, basically.
Because it looks like a Bump of Chicken music video.
It really does. Yeah, I mean, I do love the intro. Like I said, it's not like a top 10 all time, but I mean, it's a very solid intro because it's Bump of Chicken. And bro, you're right. Just watching it, it's like you're watching a Bump of Chicken, video. So I'm here for this season. I am curious how far it's gonna go. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's only 12 episodes, right? 12 or 13. I'm trying to remember in the manga where would it stop at? It's not getting to the boat, is it?
I mean, it may get to like the introduction of it. I know we're at least gonna see Twilight's co-worker
Oh yeah, true.
because she's made an appearance in the opening. The
Yep.
purple-haired girl. I don't know. It's hard to say because the only like next big moment I could think of is the boat. So the only thing I could think is if they do something similar to how lead up to Bond is they sort of like do a tease
Mhm.
for it.
I'll
'Cause honestly,
I also one thing that this is very random, but one thing that I know that will be in this season that I'm so immensely excited for, even though it's only going to be like a 2 minute sequence, but I just love it so much, is the sequence of when Twilight's trying to take Yor out on a date and she won't sit down because she got shot in the ass.
oh yeah,
That should, yeah, there should probably be an episode this season of Twilight thinking that Yor's upset with him and he's trying to like be a good husband.
because yeah, she went on a mission to get shot in the ass.
And she's in so much pain. And she tries, and when she does sit down, Twilight's like, oh my God, does she actually hate me? Because she's
Oh,
just in visible pain.
we might actually also get the episode of Bond trying to help Twilight so he doesn't have to be killed by yours cooking.
That's also true. Yeah, that one may also be in there. Man, I'm excited for this season. I am curious if it's gonna maybe end with the boat though. Maybe like the last 4 or 5 episodes be the boat. Because like it's a bi-weekly manga, so I'm having a hard time remembering what happens before the boat. It's been a while
Well,
since I've read it.
because Spy Family is also really weird because we have very few overlapping stories. Like
Yeah.
there may be one or two chapter consistently. Like the whole terrorist and bombing things with the introduction of Bond is like one of the few that spans like almost 6 chapters.
Right. Yeah.
Everything else is only 1, 2, sometimes 3.
Yeah. You're right, because like the only things that I can immediately think of where it lasted more than 2 chapters is like you said, the introduction of Bond and the bombings, the boat, the the fucking tennis match. If you remember that, that was not very long ago with him and his coworker.
Oh,
Yeah, that was like 4 chapters.
I was about
Uh,
to say the only other big
and then
event
the
that I could think of
backstory.
would be which I think might have been before the boat. I can't remember if it was before or after. Was when they went to the parent teacher thing, and it sort of focuses on Damien for a little bit and leads to uh
Was that the one where it was focused on Damien and his friends?
yes.
Okay, I remember that. I don't remember if that was before. That might be before the boats. That might be this season.
And I'm also thinking of when Twilight finally gets to meet a certain character at the school.
Yeah. Okay. It'll be cool. I'm here for it, bro. The more throwing that out there makes me think that no, we're definitely not gonna get the boat this season. I feel like boat might be a season 2. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Is boat might be season 2 because season 2 could be boat and backstory because that backstory was good. We just had that recently. It was a bunch of point chapters.
I really don't see us hitting that though. I mean, it would be
No,
great.
I mean next season. I'm talking about next season. Next season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, like I'm saying like next season be like the boat and like that backstory and stuff. That'd be solid.
Yeah, no, it would.
That'd be solid for a season 2. Okay. Where do we want to go from here?
Uh, I mean, I can talk about Blue Lock. Did you watch that?
Yep, I did. Let's jump into Blue Lock. So this one's pretty exciting. I think for both of us because like we don't know the source material, so we're like
I'm
this is
about to.
yeah exactly. We're about to. Yeah, this is. Wait, are you gonna read the manga now?
Probably.
Okay, then all right, yeah, fair enough. So yeah, this is one that we don't know the source material. So coming into this completely blind and just riding the hype for it of how great it looks and stuff, it makes it really exciting. No, the first two episodes have been very fascinating to watch. I'll
They
put it
really
that way.
have.
I love like the one of my favorite things that I've already loved in the first two episodes, and I can't wait to see how it's going to be explored upon more. Is how the anime, and I'm assuming obviously the manga does it as well, but how well and how beautifully visually appealing the anime handles the monster aspect of things.
Hmm.
I thought that was super cool. But to give some context on this, so the premise behind Blue Lock is that it is a soccer anime, right? And like
Yes.
the whole purpose of Blue Lock, it's basically like this giant facility, this project is the better way to put it, project facility, same thing in this case, where they're trying to find like the next big striker in soccer to help represent Japan to try to win a World Cup, not go to World Cup or anything. No, we ain't about that shit. We ain't about bronze or silver, baby. We're all about the gold here. They're trying.
It's not even like the next best striker. It's literally they're going to create the best striker.
Yeah, exactly. The absolute best. So like they've pulled all these different like notable like strikers across the country of Japan all into this facility to basically like, hey, and it's almost it's like the way they have it set up and the guy that's leading it, he's like they have like that sadistic
He's
vibe to it.
insane.
Do what?
He's insane.
Yeah,
He
he's
there's a
absolutely
he
insane.
has an organization to his madness, but he's straight insane.
Straight up insane to try to find this ultimate striker. Everyone that's there is all ranked. The 300 people are ranked. Naturally, our protagonist in true anime manga fashion is towards the bottom. Like that's just how it goes in anything. They're always going to be at the bottom. We have to start from the bottom, work our way up, whatever. So he's at like 299. There's literally one random ass scrub that's below him. And within the first episode, they had X amount of characters. I think it was what 12. They had 12 characters.
Yes.
Yeah, they had 12 characters in a room, and it was just like everyone's like, there's a couple people trying to be friends and stuff. Like you see, like our protagonist, meet up with another soccer player who is like considered one of the better soccer players in Japan that he's aware of, at least, or at least I guess in his region or whatever the case is.
He's a rising star. He's being
Rising
promoted
star,
by
exactly.
and stuff like that.
And he seems like a really nice guy. That's kind of the vibe you get from him is that the protag and this guy kind of become friends. He's like the highest ranking person in that room at like what 288 or whatever it was.
I think it was 270.
Yeah, way out, around there. And they basically get put into a game where it's a game of tag with a soccer ball. It's like the person who gets hit is out, or the person that's still tagged by the time the timer's out. Who's still it when the timer's up? They are now out of Blue Lock, and they will never be able to join the Japan team, national team.
I did enjoy the introduction of our mastermind here. How he because like you've all been chosen by very strange and biased reasoning.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then his just how he likes to tell people he says lock off, and the series feels the need to translate leave.
Yes. Yeah, I noticed that. Lock off. Jesus Christ. Oh, but yeah, with this game of tag, whatever, eventually, like a pro tag gets tagged at one point, and he's trying, he's unable to basically tag anyone, right? And someone else ends up getting tagged, which I guess is going to be like our pretty much like I feel like going to be our second main character, Barachi, whatever, how you pronounce his name.
I don't know, but no, it wasn't that he got tagged. Pretty much, RMC more or less had a whole like change in characteristics because he's chasing people down after he got tagged by that stupid monk.
Yep.
For being a prick, and more or less the monk's running around and he falls down, sprains his ankle or whatnot, and MC has a chance to just slap him straight in the face with the ball, and like at the last moment, he's just like, no, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah, because
I gotta attack the stronger people. And this guy who's just been chilling was asleep initially until he was about to get tagged and just kicks the monk in the face and goes, the only rule was not to do handball.
Exactly, yeah.
He sees MC make his choice. He's like, I like you. Stills that shit and immediately runs at the highest ranked person,
Which
who
is
was
like this other character we got introduced, the Rising Star.
yes, and more or less he starts going at him, and in a IQ 200 IQ play, he kicks it, bounces off the wall. The other character moves past him, and the guy, just without thinking, fucking upside down back kicks it to MC, passes it, who's on the other side of the other character. And MC, with that great animation with the contrast of the eyes and
Yep.
how it flames and whatnot, just straight kicks it into his face.
Yep. Eliminating the guy that that he essentially became friends with in just this single episode, whatever. And when it comes to this whole like with the contrast of where like the main character with like the flaming eyes, like that's like the monster that I referenced, right?
Yes.
Where it's just like when the episode started, you actually get to see our MC in a soccer game where they ended up coming up short, where he was coming up to try to do a goal, and instead of being aggressive and trying to go for the goal himself, he passed to a teammate, and the teammate just completely whiffed it, and they lost. They lost their chance to go to nationals or whatever it was. And from that point on, he was questioning what would have happened if I just kept the ball and tried to pass it. And that's the whole mindset behind Blue Lock and trying to find this top tier striker is they want to find someone who's aiming to score. They start giving examples of like one of like
a giant egotist.
Yeah, an egotist is what they want, and like our MC is flirting with that line in this chapter before he just snaps in that moment, and he's just like, I want to be the best, and he's like, I have to beat the best to be the best, and that's when he just nails that dude in the face, which was hilarious, by the way, beautifully animated of him getting smacked in the face. But
yeah, then we have the second episode, which is more or less just shows off white-haired guy gets eliminated, he gets booted out of the room, and the rest of the 11 become Team Z. It more or less just goes through a training day, introducing each of the characters, MC observing that he's not at the same level as some of them at points.
Yeah, like the jumping one where the guy's just like, are you having an off day today? and she's like, that was my max.
And then showing off how people are, based on their rank, they get certain food and whatnot.
Yep.
They all get the same food, but their side dishes are different.
Yep. Their side dishes are going to be like the better shit.
If they're higher ranked and lower stuff. Yep. Him being one above the bottom rung, he gets natto.
Yep.
And more or less has an introduction chapter of sort of giving us a peek at each of the characters. Doesn't really go deep dive into any of them. Besides our second, Barbarashi or something like that. I would have to see it to be able to say it.
Look, if you're new to AniMan Plus, just a thing to know, it's gonna take me and Zach like 4 episodes to learn every character's name in these new shows for us because that's just how we operate. There was a guy.
We start giving him a nickname.
Yeah, there was a guy in Platinum Man who was named Mr. Sure pretty much until his death, and he's still known as Mr. Sure. I don't know his name anymore. Honestly.
I don't remember his name either. He is Mr. Sure.
Is it like Mukaido or something like that? I don't remember.
That might be it.
Mukaido? I don't know. He's Mr. Sure. We didn't know his name.
But yeah, it goes into a slight backstory of our second, who references the monster.
Yep.
And how when he's in the game, he listens to the monster. And just like, at that time I passed because the monster told me to pass to you. Because he said you had a monster as well.
Yep.
Which and again, I did like the animation, like you said, of the monster itself taking it, having this physical form in his mind.
Yes, like the shadowing of it and everything, like the actual animation of how they're approaching this inner monster in our 2 characters here, I think is very visually stunning. And I'm looking forward to seeing how much more they're going to expand on it. Not knowing the source material, that's why I'm very excited to see how much more of this that we're going to get to expand on. And then with episode 2, we're set up for episode 3 where they're going up against Team X.
Yes, and then we also do get a data or information spill of them going like, so every room lost somebody, so there's only 275 people left.
Yep. And
there's 5 buildings with 5 teams. And the building you're in is based on your rank, starting from B to Z.
Mm-hmm.
Which Z's at the bottom, B's at the top. So our entire crew is the bottom.
Yep.
And they can increase their ranks based on their performance in games and training and other things.
Yeah, and like each building has like different like training facilities and like food you can get and stuff like that. Like it's all just getting better and better as you go up and stuff. And then my mind just went dead. as I was trying to go on that spill about the buildings. Bottom line, you got the bottom line. Our MC is down towards the bottom. He's currently ranked now 274 after all the performance stuff. So he's still second to last, essentially.
Yeah, because after all the
down there at the
eliminations, there's
bottom.
now only 275 people.
Yep, exactly.
And then the end goal of this, which was mentioned in episode 1, is that only the top 5 out of this program would be actually put on the Japanese team.
True.
Even though it says the whoever survives would be the number 1 striker, he did throw in there the top 5 are guaranteed to play.
Yep. And it was also interesting whenever they were breaking it down about them being on a team where it's just like a team of 11 strikers, 11 forwards. How the hell is that gonna work?
Him just going, y'all are in y'all's box. The game originally was just 11 strikers. It was only after people couldn't deal with strikers they started making plays, and he just starts getting examples, and it's just like, so play the game like it was originally intended.
Yeah, exactly. I remember where I was going to go on a little tangent, not tangent, but just continuing information. So one thing also that I really liked about episode 2 is it's a little thing, okay? It's a very little piece of detail that I really enjoyed, just because like 9.9 times out of 10 an anime or manga is going to completely ignore this and just be like, it's an anime or manga, get over it, it's fine. But like as we were watching episode 1 and it's like depicting what Blue Lock is, my first thought is like, yo, these are all like a bunch of kids basically just get thrown in prison. Like did their parents know what happened to them? So I do like how in episode 2 they put that little bow on that when they were going over the Blue Lock project, to the public, talking about it, going in detail, which you also got to see one of the like the 11 world heroes is how it was called.
Yeah, which was weird.
Yeah, very weird. I guess 11 best players in the world. I don't know.
And he's a midfielder.
Yeah, he's a midfielder. He's from Japan, but like everyone else in Japan stinks, he says. So it's kind of whatever. But I do like how
for a European team.
Yeah, exactly. I do like how when they were going on the spill about the Blue Lock and everything, there were even people asking about like trapping. It's like, oh, we have parent signed consent. I'm like, all right, that's a nice little bow on to something that never gets addressed.
I call bullshit on that, but after seeing MC's parents, I was just like, yeah, these are the kind of parents in the universe that they'd see his son's like, oh, my son's training in soccer that I don't know anything about? Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, and also after that press conference, that top player or whatever, they were trying to convince him to play for Japan. He's like, there's no one in Japan that can keep up with me. No, I'm going back over. He's like, I'd rather play with college kids in Spain than play here. So I don't give a shit that I'm born here. Everyone here sucks, basically, is the way he was putting it. And he was about to leave, and he happened to catch the press conference. After that, he just like, cancel the flight. I want to see, this great striker born before my very eyes, whatever.
He literally says, I want to see what idiot is created here.
Yeah, that's what it was. So I'm looking forward to seeing how much he's going to play into the Blue Lock story as well here. But
I would assume a bit, considering he has a nice just panel by himself in the opening.
That is true. He does.
Which sort of brings up a question for me, not knowing that. It was like, so we're going to have all these strikers, but it is a soccer team of 11. And I know the whole thing is saying, well, if you have a striker, they're more or less doing the best offense is the best defense.
Yeah.
But how does it work for the other like positions? I wonder if the series ever goes into that. Which I guess we have our midfielder, who's one of these grade 11 players, I guess, currently. So I'm just curious about the rest of the positions.
Right. So you're probably going to read the manga now?
Probably.
Same vibe that you got when you watched Tokyo Avengers. You're like, oh, yep, I'm reading this.
Oh, no, if it was that, I'd already have started reading.
Oh, that's fair. You did read Tokyo quick.
I literally watched the first episode and went, all right, to the computer.
Yep.
I'm currently stuck in the Lookism universe, which is a webtoon series, which, if you don't know what this is, Alex, you may want to look into it, because it's more or less a webtoon MCU.
Okay.
Because Lookism's the original webtoon, but like 6 to 7 other webtoons have spawned from it, taking place in the same universe. Some of them done by the same author, others just other authors.
So yeah, it's a webtoon MCU. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
And regardless of the series, it always ends up just everyone throwing hands.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that.
Because that series I showed you a shot of earlier, that's one of those series from that universe.
Oh, okay. All right, hold on.
And I love that series because regardless of which series I'm reading, I was like, there's no fucking police force. There's all these fucking teenagers and adults just fighting the fucking streets all the time. No one ever shows up besides more thugs to fight.
All right, yeah, I see it here. 42.1 million hits. That's pretty good. That's
It
pretty
has over
solid.
400 chapters. Lookism does.
And it looks at, I'm assuming Lookism is still ongoing then. Yeah, it
Yes.
is. Okay. And it has like multiple other offshoot series. Okay, okay.
Yeah, like Viral Hits, Study Group, uh, mine I'm currently reading Supremacy Quest,
All right.
uh,
I'll subscribe
Manager
and
Kim.
we'll check it
Fucking
out.
Manager Kim.
Oh, give that a subscribe. We'll give that a read. We'll check it out. Okay. Hey, let's hit Gundam. How is Gundam? I haven't watched the prologue. I haven't watched any of the first 3 episodes. How is this Gundam series so far?
So far I'm actually enjoying it after the 3 episodes plus prologue. Um, I'm not entirely sure what direction it's going yet because the last series, if I'm wrong, was Iron Blood Orphan,
Yep, it was.
which was taking hard cues at sort of war, orphans, and
Yep.
world politics and whatnot in that
And
universe.
Iron Blood, like I haven't personally seen it. It's on my radar to watch at some point, but like that's held as like a pretty damn good show.
It was fantastic. Um, this one is taking it interesting because the prologue introduces us to our main character who's 4 years old at this time, and this group that's building Gundams using a system called Gun Arm, which is more or less a interconnects person with cybernetics, and mostly because people's bodies aren't able to adapt from space. People who are Earthens versus Spaceans, and more or less, it's a company that's was originally making uh, arms and legs for people who was missing that stuff to adapt and be able to live out in space and whatnot. And they eventually got bought up by the government, became military towards towards Gundams, and were making Gundams with these where you just pretty much inject yourself and it was having bad side effects where if people pushed too hard they would outright die. And the prologue sort of introduces us to the group that's been working on it, our MC who's 4, her family, and the government sort of taking a stance on it and how people are viewing these new Gundams using the gun arm system and that it's not going well. And leads to all this introduction stuff to lead to uh, Dillard, uh, who's going to be sort of our overarching CEO villain, uh, gets command of a new group of the government that oversees the creation of Gundams and sets all the guidelines, and him giving the speech and whatnot, while at the same time he sent a group, a private military group it almost seems, to go kill all the people on the rock where they were working on the Gundam. Murders everybody in the station. Has a nice. The music in this Gundam series is fantastic per usual,
Right on.
and more or less sort of sets us all up for this. And the MC and her mother managed to be the only survivors from this factory and escape with the Gundam that the last Gundam they made because they destroyed the entire facility and whatnot. Then we move on to the first episode, which it didn't tell how many years have passed by, but it's at least been 10 to 13, give or
Okay.
take. And MC's now a teenager, and she was pretty much not introduced to anyone because she's super anxious. Like, the MC almost the entire time is always stuttering or looking around, like full on nervous and anxious ticks the entire time. The only times is when she's talking about her mother or when she's in a Gundam and about to wreck somebody's day. Um, more or less, it shows her going to this academy, which is hasn't really said what the academy's done other than it's involved with Gundam production. Everyone that's there is involved in one of the groups that are part of the big organization because the Dillard guy has made more or less he has a corporate empire because anything Gundam, every single corporation is part of his group now, and they're ranked from like 1 to, I think it didn't give an exact number, but the group that sponsored MC to go is like 195, and they're out of Mercury. So everyone there is some child whose father or parent or guardian has something to do with the upper up corporation. And it more or less just goes through an introduction of the school itself, her and her Gundam Ariel. She meets our other female MC, whose name eludes me at the moment, who was trying to escape to Earth, because her whole goal is to escape to Earth, because her father's Dillard, and he's a bastard who decides everything for her, even the fact that there's a whole dueling system in the school, and whoever's the #1 duelist, ranked #1 duel, is her fiance, and even gets a special emblem and suit on their school uniform to say that they're fiance. Because we meet MC, second girl who was trying to escape to Earth and was just floating in space. She sort of hates the school and everyone there. Everyone knows her because she's the CEO's daughter. We meet her shitball fiance who's full, I'm the top, all of you are beneath me. He gets introduced in the middle of a duel and just wrecks some guy and acts all haughty. He shows up at Silver Hair Girl's, I forgot what they're called, greenhouse, because she's growing fruits and stuff in a greenhouse because she likes to do that. More or less, it's just a whole introduction to characters. MC fights Shitball. Shitball is all haughty, and there's a whole thing. Silverhair steals MC's Gundam to duel Shitball. Shitball is like, okay, sure. Wrecks her. MC is just like, why's she in my Gundam? Oh yeah, she stole my notepad. She borrows another girl's notepad who she met to ride a bicycle onto the field to then hijack her own Gundam to then duel Shitball and wreck Shitball, thus becoming fiance of Silverhair. And she's just like, but we're both women. She's like, Mercury must be conservative. This happens all the time here. Nice to meet you, fiance. And that's how the first episode ends. Second episode consists of them all because again, everything involved here is part of this big corporation that maintains Gundams and whatnot and all the things. And more or less, the duel was recorded. People took note of it and immediately got sent to higher ups. They arrested MC, impounded her Gundam, and more or less were having a trial for it. Silver Hair Girls more or less hears all this stuff, and she sort of tries to do something, but because she's more of like, she's just the CEO's daughter and has no real power, she can't really do anything. So she mostly runs around and tries to do stuff, but it just ends up being dead ends. We have another character introduced, Ethan, who's apparently very antisocial because he doesn't take in interest to anyone besides our MC girl now, because he recognized what the system her Gundam has, which is illegal and shouldn't exist. So he has some interactions with her by taking her food while she's imprisoned. We find out that she's from the Mercury, and Mercury's a mining planet, and they reverence her as playing a possible witch, because the group that was making the Gundams with the gun arm system were all referenced as witches now. It hasn't really gone into that other than just people like calling them witches. She's being questioned, all that. Silverhair's doing her thing. Shitball's getting torn apart by his father because his father tried to assassinate Silverhair Girl's father by blowing him up in a ship.
Jesus Christ.
To try and make sure his son married her, because if he killed the CEO, the dueling rules, I guess whoever next in power he could have worked to get rid of the dueling rules, so his son would have been the final fiance for Silverhair. But that didn't happen since Shitball lost. So yeah, he's going on to the son about how he's a disgrace after losing that duel, yada yada yada. Gets the match voided. They have the trial. This group who leads the Science Sci Technology group of Mercury, which is the group that sponsored MC Erie, is her name, which I haven't said yet. And just like, more or less just runs the trials just like, more or less, how can you say it's a Gundam? Well, how can you say it's not a Gundam? And more or less running a bullshit trial of like, Well, you don't have enough evidence. I don't have enough evidence. So is it a Gundam? Is it? I say it's a drones. You say it's a Gundam. To the point where she just straight up takes up her arm because her arm's just all cybernetic and throws it to somebody in the aisles, in which I failed to mention. It also revealed in the prologue that Erie's mother has a prosthetic arm, the gun arm, because it was her thing to help her live. It reveals in episode 3 that the lady who's running this group from Mercury is her mother. So her mother's just pushing this full well knowing that the Gundam's illegal as fuck. And the CEO guy's just like, it doesn't matter. I say it's a Gundam. And she's like, but is it a Gundam? Yes, because I say so. It's done.
But is it?
Your daughter's being expelled. We're trashing it. And then his daughter walks in and just starts bad-mouthing him. And he's just like, you think you have any power to bad-mouth me? It's like, you're just a child. Leave. and she more or less goes on a rant of, you always make the rules and bullshit, so I challenge you to a duel. Are you an adult? Do you not take up your own representation of the rules you've set? And I guess he accepts, because then it just fucking cuts to her going to the prison and getting Erie out. And they set up another duel between Erie and Shitball. So, and everything the characters say makes it seem and assume that her father accepted the duel, but it never said it. And more or less, then Silverhair and Erie have a moment, and Erie's just like, but there's tons of things I want to do while I was in school. She just goes there like, I wanted to make friends, I wanted to tell people my nicknames, I wanted to study in the library, and I wanted to go on dates. Dates? Yeah, but if I get married, I can't go on dates anymore. And
She's
so
wanting to live that normal life.
Well, it's not going to be anytime soon, because we got to wait till I turn 17. And you don't have to worry, because my one goal is to escape to Earth. And then she's like, I'll make you a promise. If you help me out and win this duel, we'll make this easy, because you won't have to worry about me, because I'll escape to Earth. You can go on as many dates as you want.
All right.
And then Shitball has a whole thing with his family. And they give him a new Gundam. It's a higher-end Gundam from their group. And they also install a AI to best judge what to do in any kind of given situation. And more or less him going like, can I not be trusted to do this myself? And his father's going, it doesn't matter about how we do it. It just matters about the results. This isn't just about a duel, son. You have to understand this. Cut. Episode 3. Duel. Erie's back at the school after everyone's heard about the rumors of her cheating, using illegal whatnot, yada yada yada. She's still super nervous. She still hides behind people even when it's Shitball. We have that sort of interaction. There's a whole... Oh yeah, I did miss... There was a subplot of characters who are Earthens and being against Spacens, and then Spacens being against Earthens. Yay, racism. It's pretty much all it is, but instead of race, it's just Spacens versus Earthens.
Right.
There's always a slight undertone of that somewhere in most Gundam series. I don't think Blood Orphan, though. I think that one was a little different, but I digress. That's a whole thing. Erie and Shitball eventually end up in the duel committee where they decide what's the stakes and whatnot. They set up the match. Shitball's father more or less rigs the entire thing. He gets a whole thing set up where the system ends up raining, reducing the usefulness of beam guns. Shitball literally can't control his mech. The mech literally does its own thing, because at one point he literally just takes his hands off the handle because he has no control over it. The AI is literally doing everything. Erie's more or less having a hard time and going, what's going to happen? Silverhair's just like, don't worry, just hang on. I'll deal with this. She hijacks a mech suit, starts going full... She can't drive a Gundam. It's established that. She literally bounces off the walls while she's trying to drive this mech thing.
Figuring it out.
Yeah. And she proceeds to leap from elevator cart to elevator cart to find the right cart which controls the sprinkler system, to smash it open and turn it off, which leads to Erie winning. And we do have a nice moment where she destroys the system enough. Well, no, she doesn't destroy. She pushes the guy enough. He just punches his notebook thing, which had the AI in it, disabling it, takes control himself, to try to do one final move against Erie. for her to finish him off, and her say, "There's like, well, I underestimated him," and more or less, her Eerie and Silverhair have a moment. She gets out of her cockpit when she sees Shitball climb out of his destroyed mech, because there's not a single fight in this that where mech hasn't been destroyed. And she's like, "I'm sorry, I underestimated you and everything." And he sort of grabs her hand, and at the end of the episode, just kneels down, and is like, "Marry me." And that's how it ends. So far, I've enjoyed the last 3 episodes. They're very entertaining.
Right. How
Or
much?
I guess 4 episodes.
So how much like serious like world building are we doing? Like, plot wise and stuff like that. How was the first few episodes done on that?
So there is quite a bit. It hasn't gone deep into it, other than the fact that
Because like these first few episodes you just explained sounded very heavy focused on characters with the touch of world building. Is that kind of what we're doing here?
yes, but there's a lot of undertones of which I sort of skipped over because we still got time to go through.
Sure.
I tried to make it as quick as possible, but all 3 of these episodes linked together, so it was sort of
Sure.
hard.
Yeah.
Because there's been some undertones of just like focusing on the proper management of the Gundams and whatnot, and more or less showing off this gun arm system, which was destroyed before it could come to its full realization, which was supposed to be ideally revolutionize Gundams in the going forward, and just more or less of the world that we've been set in at this moment, in this academy and all the groups we've seen, is solely controlled by Dillard and all these corporate groups that have some form or function in building Gundams, and
Okay.
just that their rankings are based on
Yeah,
sales and
yeah.
whatnot. It has not gone expand past just our setting we have, just the academy involved with the corporations. And that pretty much everything is decided with Dillard at the top. He has final say pretty much, and that everyone's position is determined based on their sales and everything.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So it's going heavy corporate sorta, rather than politics. Corporate politics, I should say.
Okay. Yeah, I plan on checking that out this weekend and grinding through it. That and the few episodes of that Shinobi, whatever it's called. Those are the last 2 that's kind of caught my eye. Well, then To Your Eternity is about to start, so I got that to watch here soon.
Yep.
So anyway, okay, I'll do Bleach next. Only 2 episodes of Bleach so far, and I don't feel like there's a lot to dive into there. Because like it's Bleach. We know this arc if you follow Bleach. This is like the first episode was both these are just big setup for what's to come. You know what I mean? That it's just mid 2000s shonen anime, shonen series,
Yes.
just hey, big setup for big baddies. You know what I mean? It's all those series did at the time, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It works. You know what I mean? Like episode 1 when you get a chance to get reintroduced to all of our main 4 characters of Ichigo, Uru, Sato, and Orihime. You get a nice reintroduction of them of whenever you see 2 Soul Reapers trying to take out some hollows and just get horribly and brutally just overpowered. One of them getting killed, and obviously our pro tags just wiping the floor with them as if they're nothing. So just a nice reintroduction to our characters, right? Then from there, you just get them all kind of hanging out, just those normal sort of like friend vibes that Bleach is done pretty well on at different points between these 4 characters of them just vibing and chilling. Then just here comes a random new guy, random new villain, and he's just butts into their conversation, is staying on Ichigo's bed, and while he's sitting there trying to talk to him, Ichigo's just like, "Hey, get off my bed," and he's just like, "Do you care to repeat yourself?" And Ichigo's like, "I said, get off my bed," and he like kicks him out the window.
That's where everyone ends up, is on Ichigo's bed for whatever
Exactly.
reason.
It's all in that room, dude. It's all in that room. That's where at least 30 or 40% of Bleach takes place. Is in that room on that bed.
And of course, Orihime was hanging around because she had to spend like 2-3 years trapped in fucking Hueco Mundo.
Exactly. Oh man. But yeah, kicks the dude out the window. Start a nice little fight between them. And meanwhile, while this is happening, this is where you're starting to see Soul Society get attacked, right? You get to see I cannot remember his name, but like the head dude of the Gotha 13, whatever, the old man.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, But
Yamamoto.
yeah, he gets specifically attacked. Like his office gets attacked. His right hand man, Sakasibe, I think's his name. He gets killed.
I forgot. It's been so long.
Yeah, he
You
dies
know,
here.
after the Soul Society invasion arc, it became very clear that Soul Society security is sort of shit.
Yeah, it's garbage. Absolute garbage. Like for you supposed to be like the strong ass, group of individuals, your security sucks the largest set of nuts on the planet. But whatever. So anyway, yeah, they get all invaded, and basically while Ichigo's fighting this dude, they're getting invaded at the same time, and the security thing. Now that you mention it, that was actually mentioned. I just remembered that was actually mentioned. Like the baddies that came in and head up to the head man. It's just like, yo, your security really sucks. We got in here like it was no big deal, and all he said was, "I'm here. It's all good." He's like, "What's the point of security? I'm here.
I
Like,
don't need security. No one can kill me.
yeah, I'm fine." I'm just like, God damn, come on now. Your right hand man just died because of your lack of security, but whatever. You're here, I guess. That works. Anyway, so you kind of see him just kind of shoo them off pretty quickly, and meanwhile, while that's happening, Ichigo's battling it out with this dude all around the city, whatever. Ichigo's kind of entertaining him basically because the dude's very specifically trying to get, prodding Ichigo and pushing Ichigo's buttons, is trying to get him to use Bankai, and Ichigo's not doing it at first, and he's realizing like, I'm just gonna go along with it, I'm just gonna play along here, kind of mess with it. He's like, all right, whatever, sure, I'll use Bankai, I guess. So he uses it, and the dude tries to do something. Ichigo is just like, all right, just slaps the shit out of him and completely obliterates him. And the dude's just like, why didn't his Bankai disappear? Ichigo tries to question him. He's like, what do you mean disappear? What are you on about? And then the dude just disappears before Ichigo gets to finishing questioning. Which obviously that little tease, if you've read this part of the manga, you know where that's going, obviously. That's a huge plot point. I'm assuming for the entire arc, because I haven't actually finished reading the arc, but I've read up to where it's a major
I was
plot
curious
point.
if you had finished it.
No, I haven't picked. Look, man, how I am on Bleach right now is how I was on One Piece. I read way too much in a very short period of time. I've needed a break. But like the point was, I made it to where I wanted to, and I made it to this arc, so I'm good for the show. That was the whole purpose. Is that
Fair
I
enough.
made it, so I'm good for the anime. But episode, that episode 1 kind of ends from there. Episode 2 kind of kicks off, and that's when the gang gets a call with the one Soul Reaper they saved in episode 1. They get a call. He just thinks it's like just a general call, whatever. He answers it like, "Oh, I'm so and so from so and so group, whatever." But it's like an entire widespread call breaking down what's going on. That this was attacked, this many people died. It's like Sibe was murdered. This and this is a lot of shit's happening right now, essentially. So kind of puts the gang in a bad spot. They're all kind of like a little moody, whatever. Ichigo's just going patrolling to get his mind off things, and then good old Neil comes back in, or Nell. Nell just pops in from the sky. Which as Nell is just falling down and crying for Ichigo, then it's all of a sudden super accelerating, just hits Ichigo in the stomach, is down into a crater. So.
Everybody's favorite hollow lolly mature woman transformation.
Yeah, basically. And then it's basically
that killed the internet whenever Nell turned into a full woman.
I know, man, bro, for real. That's what I thought when I was reading it. I'm just like, what? Because I didn't know about that. This is I went into Bleach very, very blind. The Soul Society arc was the most that I really, really knew about. I knew of characters, I knew of certain things of the future arcs, but other than that, I was blind as shit. So when that happened, it caught me off guard.
He liked doing that because he caught everyone off guard when they first did with Yoriichi, because she was a cat for as far as we could start until Soul Society. She turns into this full
mature
woman who's apparently like in her late 20s, mid 30s. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Kubo loves throwing those curveballs, bro. So anyway, with Nell coming here, it's basically that Hukamundo is under attack, and it's just asking for Ichigo for help, whatever. You get introduced, another. What's their name? The Onakars, is that their name?
Yes.
Okay, Onakar. Just want to make sure I pronounce right. I'm just top tier at pronouncing things on this show. Obviously, if you've listened to the show.
You're also asking a guy who watched Bleach like almost a decade ago.
I mean, I'm still trusting on you on these things, man. You're the one that pronounces stuff for me. But anyway, so it's just kind of a situation. It's like, all right, yeah, clearly we're gonna go help. You know what I mean? Like, and throughout like episode 1 as well as like this episode, you're getting those teases of what this new antagonist group is. Because like even when Ichigo was fighting this dude, like he thought he was in Anakara because of the mask that he was wearing. He had it on his face. That's what he thought, and the dude got immediately insulted when he said that and didn't say what he was, but he clearly had like the little bracelet thing, like a Quincy, and that's where Ichigo started kind of putting the pieces together that, oh shit, this guy's probably a Quincy, I guess. But Ichigo didn't officially like hammer it. Oh yeah, you're 100% a Quincy, even though he's clearly a fucking Quincy. But whatever. And
from Ichigo's mind, as far as he's concerned, Noah's the only Quincy still alive.
Exactly, yeah. And that's kind of like just little tidbits of teasing throughout these first 2 episodes is like further establishing that our antagonists are Quincy's. You know what I mean? Like you get introduced to the main antagonist, and sort some of his other kind of underlings and stuff like that, in true like Bleach fashion, where it just kind of introduces everyone all at once sort of vibe. And whenever it comes time for they're kind of breaking down everything that's happened in Hukamundo with like the leader of Hukamundo got completely just demolished already. So there is no leader over there right now, and everyone's just getting killed or taken prisoner or whatever the case is. The whole gang's just like, well, except for Uru. Uru's just like, hey, I'm a Quincy. I can't help Hollows. I can't help Anakar. Sorry, I'm out. Deuces. Which also I want to shout this out. Since I have not watched Bleach since it aired, like way back in the day during the Soul Society arc, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I turned on this, I have not watched anything Bleach in that amount of time, so 10 plus years, right? I had no fucking clue that Uru was voiced by the voice actor of Sasuke. Had no clue.
Yep.
That is just a very happy Sasuke that's talking up front. That is the voice I hear. Is Sasuke, but but more of an upper tone Sasuke. Sasuke is very dark and mellow. Meanwhile, Uru is just like kind of normal and kind of bright spirited.
Fun fact, though, both their families were killed.
Yeah. Sharing in a lot of similarities with this voice actor and the characters he wants to voice, but whatever. But anyway, so they're gonna gear up to go, and then obviously, God, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Oh God, Urahara. I can't believe I forgot his name.
Urahara?
Yeah, Urahara. Yeah. Yeah, he's peeping into the conversation as well, where he's sitting in obviously Ichigo's window right there at his bed, where all the conversations always happen. He's like, "Oh, you guys are having a pretty interesting conversation. Do I need to set up a path to Hukamundo?" It's just like, "Why are you here?" He's like, "I was waiting outside your window for the perfect opportunity."
Which is exactly something
That is something you would do, but he also did point out he's just like it's kind of hard not to notice a couple Anakars just popping in out of nowhere. So I just wanted to see what was going on. But anyway, they end up getting to Hukamundo, where it's like you're seeing like everyone just like murdered and just demolished and basically being taken prisoner, essentially. Like the main bad guy at this current moment, this Quincy whatever, is just lining a bunch of people up and stabbing them one by one. Where he's just like, "Oh yeah, we'll take some of you back with with us, but you got to show us a little something, whatever." So like the first guy steps is like, "If I agree to work with you, will you spare?" And he just gets a spear through the stomach. He's like, "Nope, we're not doing that." And he just starts stabbing them one by one, murdering them before you finally get 2 people actually step up, try to fight. They get smacked down. He's like, "We're gonna take these 2 prisoners. The orders were if we find anyone stupid enough to try to fight back and have some spunk, we'll bring them back with us." And then of course,
just remembering this arc, I never read it, but hearing about it just still hints to me that this army that's attacking one, it's just a Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, basically. Next episode will be pretty legit though, because this episode ended with Ichigo and this current head Quincy whatever having a nice little stare down. So next episode will be good. I mean, it's cool to see Bleach come back. I'm not the diehard Bleach fan like our friend Diaz is or anything. I'm not a diehard Bleach fan like a lot of people are on the internet. It's an entertaining series for sure. And I understand why it's considered one of the big 3 and everything. But I am excited for this. I guess this part 1 of this season, since it's divided into 4 parts. I think is what it was.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah, 4 parts. I think a grand total of 52 episodes. So, I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. It's gonna be a good time. Next up, Chainsaw Man. Did you watch it?
Nope.
Are you going to?
Maybe. I just know the internet and Twitter blew up about the fucking opening because somebody took the time to do shot for shot of
Yep.
films.
Yep. The anime opening is literally just different films. Like straight up. And if you want to like a perfect way to look at Chainsaw Man, just go watch that opening. Like if you've never read the manga for Chainsaw Man and you're just going off the hype that everyone else has for it going into this anime season, just go watch the opening just to get a mental grasp of how fucking wild this show is and how just
Yep.
absolutely insane and off the wall it is, because that's exactly what it is. Like the series has the amount of hype that it does because it's so insane. It's not like it's a peak fiction in terms of its story. It's not up front, but it's just wild. That's what makes it entertaining. It's just wild and stupid, because the first episode get the full introduction to Denji and is how miserable and terrible his life is, to the point where now he owes all this money to this gang because of his deadbeat father who killed himself to get out of it and went on to Denji. So it's just like it really depicts just how miserable he is, but he's still bright spirited because he has like these dreams that he knows he'll never accomplish, but he would really like to. Like, I would like to hook up with a girl before I die. Denji has very low goals. I want to stress
And
this.
then he meets some strange looking puppy with a chainsaw blade sticking out of it, and he's just like, yes.
Porchta. Yeah, that's his best friend, who is absolutely precious and adorable. I really want the plushie. I really want the plushie for Porchta, but yeah, and basically this devil, he just takes him on as a pet. They're both like kind of bottom feeders. Is kind of how they view themselves. So they just kind of they run together. They're best friends. That's like his little doggy. Well, anyway, he uses Portia, obviously since he has a chainsaw, to do some devil hunting to get some extra cash to try to pay off these debts and stuff. And that again further depicts where just how miserable his life is, where he kills one devil at the beginning. It's just like, all right, Denji, I'm gonna pay you this, and Denji's like, all right, and then then the guy's like, okay, but after this, and 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 after this, that leaves you with 1,700 yen. Have fun. And then
he still went, yes.
Yeah, basically. I mean, even when the dude that same boss dude and like his lackey came up and drove up beside him, the lackey's like, hey, I'll give you like 25 yen or whatever it was if you swallow this cigarette. And Denji's like, oh, for real? And just eats the cigarette. He'll do it. But like that's also like the interesting thing about the character is that it's a very relatable character, right? In a few different ways because of how low his goals are, where he just wants to live that normal life. You know what I mean? And that's what makes him a very relatable character for a lot of people that have read the manga, is that like he just wants to live a normal freaking life because he's been like enslaved throughout his whole life. He gets set up for another, devil hunting scenario and then ends up, the mob turning against him, whatever. They made a deal with the zombie devil. Denji does die here, but then he's revived thanks to Portia basically becoming his new heart and reviving him now as Chainsaw Man, which again, this is, for the Chainsaw Man stuff is, CGI animation, and it does obviously stick out as you would expect. It is CGI and then regular animation happening at the same time, kind of like what Dragon Quest will do.
Yeah.
But this one is a lot better than what Dragon Quest does. But it sticks out, but it's still great. It's still very visually appealing. It's cool. The music is very over the top and intense, kind of like a Sabuki Bisco and how wild that music can be, in wild scenarios. So, I mean, it does everything that you would expect Chainsaw Man to do if you've read the manga. Which also at the end of this episode introduces you to Makima, who's going to be a major character throughout this series. And also shout out to the fact that I saw a dude tweet earlier who, I don't know if it was a troll. I'm assuming it's not. They do seem to be an anime-only viewer. It's just like, Makima and Denji is my new anime favorite couple. Their first date was so cute, whatever. And then like hours, I noticed that his follow-up tweet hours after the fact was just like he said, why is everyone saying does he know? Which I lost my shit when I saw that, because as soon as I saw that initial post, I'm like, oh, I gotta read these comments.
Makima and Denji are my new couple. Everyone who's read the manga,
does he know? Exactly.
Let me tell you a story, son.
Yeah. When Makima comes into the picture in episode 1, and she's there with Denji, whatever, hugs Denji. She's got Denji on her lap and stuff, and You know, again, Denji has just lived such a shit life that his bar is so low where she wants him to come with her and he's just like, "What's for breakfast?" And she's like, "Some toast with some jam and this and that." Yeah, very basic breakfast, right? And Denji's like, "That sounds awesome. Let's go."
But I'm sure it was animated because I remember, like in the first chapter, there's a point where Denji's literally sleeping in a dumpster.
Yes. Yo, that's when he died. Yeah, he was in the dumpster when he died.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was just thrown in the dumpster, all of his separate body pieces. And that's when Portia revived him. And when Portia revived him, keep in mind Portia is a devil. Yeah, the deal that was made was Portia just wants to see Denji's dream come true. That's it. Show me this dream that you have. That's it. That is literally all the deal is. Which even Denji points out in the second episode that he feels like he's already living his dream because he's getting to live now a cushy life compared to what he had. He gets baths every day. He gets good food. He gets to hang around Makima, who's really hot, and he is like, he's living the best life right now in his mind. He's living his dream. And once we get into episode 2, you further get to see that dynamic of Makima of where episode 1 portrayed her as like this super sweet girl that like you're gonna fall in love with as a viewer, and then episode 2 immediately starts planting those seeds of, damn, she'd be a little sadistic, where she's, basically saying it's like, oh, I only need a dog that's going to be obedient. I expect you to answer to everything that I say with yes or woof, which obviously Denji does get some woofs here in this episode. He's a simp. He's here simping at his best simp life, especially because whenever they got some food, he got to have some udon for the first time in his life. He's very low on blood because of from going from, Chainsaw Man mode, whatever. And he keeps like passing out and stuff. And she's like, "Oh, are you okay? Are you okay?" And got the udon for him. She's like, "Can you eat the food on your own?" He's just like, "Yes." And he stops. He's like, "No, I cannot." So she starts feeding him the food. Whatever. And that was the shot of, oh, their first date was so cute. It's like, oh, does he know? But also this episode, you get the introduction of course, Aki. So you get that introduction, his interaction with Denji, which is pretty entertaining, of where Denji kicks him in the nuts, I think 8 times. 8 times, gets a kick in the nuts. Which, Denji points out that he's like, I'm only going for the nuts, man. That's all I'm going for. And after he just continues to kick the dude in the nuts over and over again, Aki's on the ground. He's just like, he starts to kind of get up. He's like, you really did only go for the nuts. He just passes out. And whenever Denji brings Aki back to the office, whatever, to Makima, Denji just is like, he was attacked by the nut devil. And Aki's like, oh, this son of a bitch is lying. He's full of shit. Oh, and then we get introduced to Power. And Power is, I almost forgot how like wild and crazy Power was because it's been so long.
That was ridiculous.
She's insane, man. Power and Denji get paired up together to go, as per of Aki's designation of this special unit that they're a part of, where Makima further points out that this is a very experimental unit. If you guys don't get results, you're both going to die, per the higher ups, and this unit will be disbanded. So get results. Power and Denji specifically are like paired together to go patrolling and stuff. And this is where you get to really see Power just like be psychotic, where she just wants to kill. She wants blood. She starts to smell like a devil, whatever, and she goes taking off. Denji's trying to run after her, and Power just jumps off a building, summons her giant blood mallet, and just crushes sea cucumber devil is what it was, and just starts like, yeah, this victory was mine. And just
does it show off Power's secret in this episode?
No.
Okay.
No, not yet. And meanwhile, after she's sitting there just screaming to the heavens that she got the kill, you just see Denji standing on top of a building, just like, he doesn't say anything, but the only thought going through his head is, this bitch is fucking crazy. So, I mean, it's been a solid first couple episodes. I really enjoy the opening, though. I'm dead ass serious. If you want to just get the general vibe of Chainsaw Man, go watch the opening. And I do actually really appreciate the different outro every single episode. That is a very nice touch. I do very much enjoy that they're taking that approach, honestly.
Damn, how fun is to get a different outro.
I know,
every
right?
Episode.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I know. That's insane to me, but... all right, next up, we'll hit My Hero Academia. I'm going to let you finish off with your meme quest. We're almost done. That way you can speed run through that and we can hit the chapters. But anyway, My Hero, Season 6, Episode 3, or just 116 as a whole. So we are officially like full-blown in the war right now.
Yep.
We got a kick-ass episode of Mirako doing her thing, going up against the doc and stuff like that. Which also shout out to the English dub version of that, because it is different of whenever Mirko busts in the room and finds the doctor, right? Like in the sub and in the manga and everything, it's just like, oh, you must be the real one, right? And and whenever she says you must be the real one is the shot of her talking, so you can visibly see her saying that. But in the dub
Yeah.
version, when she busts in the room and it's focused on the doctor, Mirko is talking over that as an overlay, where a nice little plug, nice little joke of "What's up, Doc." So I thought that was funny. Shout out to the English dub for throwing in that little Looney Tunes reference. I thought that was humorous to me. But yeah, kick-ass episode focused on Mirko, and then the last episode was that was Diaz hit me up about this episode and what happened with it with Twice, and I told him
Mhm.
I hadn't watched it yet when he hit me up, and I told him that if they did the manga justice, which I thought they would have, it was going to be insane. It was going to be a very beautiful,
Oh, it was a
heartbreaking,
fabulous episode
it
for
was great.
Twice.
It was incredible. Because that was what Diaz hit me up about, is that it was just like tearing at your heartstrings. I'm like, if they even do that scene from the manga even half its justice, it will. And it was. Yeah, that was a great episode, focusing on like Twice and everything that happened with him. And then, obviously Dobby and Hawks.
Hawks.
Yeah. Dobby, throwing out Hawks' name, which kind of stopped him up a little bit. He's losing some feathers from getting burned and shit. But I mean, I've enjoyed these first 3 episodes to really kick off this giant war. We got to see
Kamiya?
Electric Kid. I'm forgetting his name.
Kamiya?
Kamiya. Yeah, thank you. And we get to see him actually be like doing something and not just after he gets like overcharged and stuff, which that's cool. That character development and everything of how much further he's grown with his quirk
He's
and grown
literally
as a
just being a
character.
lightning rod.
Yeah,
That's literally all he's doing.
That's all he's got to do. That's all he's got to do. But like, the fact that he's not just like, immediately afterwards, like, shout out to him for that. But I mean, what are your thoughts on these first 3 episodes? Because I thought they've been phenomenal. I can't wait for the shit to come throughout the rest of it.
I mean, they've been all phenomenal episodes considering what we got for season 5. So we were all sort of just like, season 5's here. We're all waiting for season 6.
Yeah, it's just like, we were done
and
with
see-
season 5 before it started.
And season 6 is here, and I mean, they've done every episode justice so far, especially this episode with Twice. And looks like first half it was their initial assault on the fort of the paranormal whatever. I forget what their name was.
Paranormal Liberation Front.
Yes, and more or less them attacking and whatnot, and sort of having all showing off the heroes as well as several of the students, each getting a nice little moment here on the opening attack and whatnot, like Kamiya,
Yep.
the Mushroom Girl, and Mudman.
Yep.
Tsukiyomi letting out Dark Shadow to just fully wreck an entire staircase.
Also, I love
Destro.
I was about to say, I love the reaction from Redestro, which is like, we're being attacked. There's a ton of heroes, and he's still just like, huh?
Yeah.
It's like, what? Excuse me?
We're surrounded, Redestro. Huh?
What?
Starts transforming.
Yep.
Because I like how they somehow miss the building getting split in half, and they're still just killing downstairs, just going.
Wonder what that was.
They're late.
Yeah, I wonder what's taking.
I probably should be here soon.
I wonder what's taking so long for this. We have an important meeting.
And then it also has a nice shot of Edge Shot and Midnight doing their thing, and Scimitas. Just overall, I mean, but the main second half, which actually probably a third of most of the episodes is focusing on Twice and Hawks and their sort of interaction of Twice. Just him going in a pit of despair. It's always my fault. I'm always bringing terrible things, and then him just full pushing and just like, I don't care what fucking happens. I gotta split and help everybody.
Yep. Which that was top to bottom, just very heartbreaking with the whole situation of just like Twice feeling like such a failure that everything happens because of him. But then also on the flip side of things, like, Hawk's legitimately wanting to help the guy, but he just happens to be a villain. He's just like, if you just surrender, I swear I will help you get back on, continue your life. You know what I mean? Like, you're not a bad person. But, like, obviously Twice is like, fuck you right now. That's essentially what his mindset.
Twice already had his revelation moment the previous season when they were fighting League of Villains and realizing that the only people he can really trust are the League of Villains friends.
Yep.
And that he's willing to do anything for them.
Right.
And just having that whole build-up of him and then Dobby showing up just like, hey, Hawks, I never trusted you. Fire!
Yeah, basically. It's like, Hawks' #1 weakness right now. Which
Yeah.
Hawks will get fucked up. Like, probably next chapter. Next episode.
And then Dobby just doing his thing to just be like, go do your thing twice, I got Hawks. And just him not having Hawks.
Not having Hawks at all. Hawks is outsmarting them.
And then we have that heart-wrenching moment of where Twice does manage to make a clone to stab a hero in the back and save Toga
and Mr. Compress. That's his
yes,
name. Yeah.
Mr. Compress, who I don't think of him as Mr. Compress after something that we find out in the war about him.
True.
So I always think of him as something else now.
True.
He saves them, and we have just this heart-wrenching moment of him apologizing to the two of them and Toga and everything, and having that moment of him giving her back her handkerchief and him just slowly melting right there as he's dying.
Heartbreaking, bro.
Because Hawks cut the fuck out of him.
Yep.
Which was a very nice shot how they did it leading up, because you
Out
actually
of the
see that moment
out of the
of
smoke.
Hawks coming out of the flames
Yep.
and doesn't show anything. All you see is just a spurt of blood.
Yep.
And then we get the whole...
Yeah, that shot of Hawks coming out of the flames looked sick, dude.
Yeah, then just finishing with that spurt of blood, then switching over to Toga and Mr. Compress.
Yes. That was such a good transition, honestly.
Because even by the end of the episode, it still never showed Twice's full body. The last thing we saw was just blood, his hand, and his hair.
Yep.
And then just that whole moment of everything of him just... the mud clone just falling apart.
Yep. So depressing.
and I ended that episode and it was like, the deaths begin.
Oh no, don't say it, Zach.
I was like, we already got 2.
I'm so pumped for this season, dude. This season is so damn good. This will be the best season of My Hero Academia, and I'm so excited for it.
Probably.
All right, Zach. Do your thing, I guess. 99. We're almost done. What's happening, I guess.
So, last time we were here, it was Vern looking into the sunset, laughing with a sword in his chest, going, "My plan is complete. Everyone will die." So through what I called, through the power of bullshit and friendship, actually I lied. We actually went past that episode where people were escaping and managed to freeze towers and bullshit. But through the power of friendship and other bullshit, Diane Pop managed to get up some nerve and start attacking King Vern, and Vern being like, "What the hell are you doing? So what? You got a couple friends running around. They're not gonna stop everything. How can you keep fighting?" Him talking bullshit. Not ma'am. Leona. She manages to cause the jewels that everyone's trapped into to move and start floating around and smacking the shit out of Vern, and him going, "What is happening here? These jewels shouldn't be moving. Why are they attacking me?" Him realizing Leona's done something. He frees her from her gem. The gem's falling. He's going, "How'd you do that? What are you doing?" He's like, "You have that." And rips off her blouse. Stealing what was inside her blouse is Gomei-chan, the golden slime that's been following Dai around since episode 1, which turns out to be not a slime, but a legendary item called the Tear of the Gods, which can grant anybody's wish who is holding it, as long as the wish isn't evil in nature. So since her wish was to move the jewels to help Diane Pop, Gomei proceeded to move the jewels and smack the shit out of Vern. So yeah, Vern reveals that Gomei-chan is not a slime, but an idol and all this bullshit. And they're just like, "No, he can't be a slime. He can't be an item. He's a slime." It's like, yada, yada, yada. I can't let this in the hands of the heroes. Cry. Right before them going, "Gomei is our friend. Don't kill him." What about Vern and all this would make you believe shouting that would save him? But fucking go ahead. And he's just like, "No, cry." Gomei explodes into many particles of slime, dies diving. One hits his hand, thus he gets transported into a mind realm for him and Gomei to the island, and him just going, We're here, Dai. At the island. I was always with you. I was glad I met you. This was the purest place in the world. And I was just like, no, Gomei-chan, you're my friend. Do you remember the wish? Wish. Yes, the wish, child. Apparently, Dai, as a young child, found the tear that was Gomei, and just the one wish he made was like, let's be friends. Thus, the tear turned into a slime, and they spend many a years playing together as slime and child.
I hate this series.
So we have a whole episode about them just trying to make you sad about this slime dying. And we have a whole moment where they're in the air of the island after seeing it again, and Gomei's flying off with sprinkles and Dai. She's like, don't go, Gomei! Don't go! And Gomei's like, with the last of my power, I'll do something for you, Dai. It's like, what do you want? I want us all to be united. I want to unite the hearts of everyone in the world. I got you, Dai. Bye, Dai.
I hate this series.
And Gomei disappears. Dai comes back to reality. He's laying on the ground. Pop's in shock. Leona's got her face in all anime waifu style of about to cry. The rest of that episode, by the way, her hand is holding up her blouse because since Vern ripped it,
Right.
they have to censor it. So yeah, there's that whole thing. Which leads to Gomei's finishing the wish, and everyone in the world is now connected in mind, like Pop and Meryl was, and everyone's talking to them through their minds like, we know everything now. We know everything that's happening. We got you, Dai. We'll hit all the other towers. So literally every other fucking character we've ever met in the series is now going to the towers and stopping them. Like I fucking call. But Vern just being like, yeah, this is bullshit. I could just activate this one. Let's do this. He goes to activate it. This is a new episode, by the way, now. He does it. Nothing happens because the heroes and all their encounters have managed to stop it. We found out the fucking shitball mage who was part of the fake heroes party from early on in the series is actually the brother of Makarov. Not Makarov. Other Makarov of Dragon Quest, who's the teacher of Pop. Yeah, we find out he's his brother for some reason, and has a whole moment, and it's just like, okay, cool. So yeah, they managed to stop the last tower, doesn't explode. Everyone has their moment, and Vern's just like, why is it not exploding? So it's like, ha, everyone stopped you. He's like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna just kill you, and then I'm just gonna blow them up anyways. And I just like, I got this. I don't know what... There's only one thing I can do. Leona, wrap up everyone's jewels and hold it tight. So in a magical cut, Leona managed to tear the rest of her blouse, turn it into a bag, and give herself a bikini top. And all I could think
everything
is...
you're talking about is just killing me on the inside.
All I could think is about... You had time to do that? I mean, I understand for like some monologue and just stand here for this bullshit, but what? So yeah, Dai reveals his big plan is he's gonna go Dragnoid like his father did. He was gonna take the two crests, move them to his forehead, and go full Dragnoid. And he's like, I need y'all to leave. I don't want you to see me like this, because I'm gonna become a monster. I don't know if I can control it. And Pop just being like, like, don't worry, Dai. Regardless of what we'll be your friends. We'll stand with you. And we're just being, nope. Opens up a hole, sends them to the heart of the Vern Palace, and just shuts that shit. It's just like, all right, Dai. Let's throw hands. Which precedes the last episode, which I love. The episode of episode 99 is Victory by These Hands.
Jesus Christ. About to catch these hands, son. Here we go.
Pretty much. So half this episode is Pop and crew, who have now been released from the jewels because Vern has to focus solely on Dai, so it releases the magic. So everyone weak as fuck is in the heart of the King Palace now. But like, a large majority of this episode is these fuckers trying to come up with a way to escape it. And just hitting it and just like, nothing's happening, it just keeps regenerating. And they're just going, we have to use Aura. Aura is the only thing that's damaging it. So we have to use a big enough Aura Blast to beat its regeneration. And he's just like, I got one idea. It's like, what is it, Pop? Grand Cross. Hyunkul can use Grand Cross. But he's too weak. He can't use it. He's like, you're right. But who's the one who taught him? Avon. You can use Grand Cross, right? It's like, haha, you've caught me, Pop. Of course I can use Grand Cross. So just let me take a moment and do. It's like, you can't do that, Avon. What do you mean, Cool? You can't do that. Grand Cross is a final attack. But you use it all the time. Yes, because I'm special and I can manage to do it without killing myself. And Avon's just like, he's right. Here's the final attack. I'll kill myself. She's like, why then? And then him over here, he's just chilling. She's like, I got this. I'll use Grand Cross. Ah! Starts doing a build. I was like, you know what? I like humans. I like you people. I'll do this. And I'm just like, don't do it, him. You'll die. Blast. Zoom. He doesn't die. He just loses his arms, by the way. So they all escape. They meet all the other people who've been on the outside, just like, oh, you're safe. We're having this moment. And I'm just thinking, but Dai's still fighting. Why the fuck are y'all having this moment? And then the blacksmith rolls up and he's just like, where's Dai? Somber mood. He's still up there fighting. Well, shit. Go back to Dai and Vern. They're up in the palace. Full fucking Planet Namek vibes. They're flying in the air, just punching the shit out of each other. Full Dragon Ball Z. The entire palace is just crumbling all around them. In which it's night now. The palace is crumbling, but with how they've done it and everything, it more or less just looks like they're fighting in the fucking galaxy rather than just a night sky. Because there's just ruins from them. They're jumping between, fighting each other. They sort of do an attack that splits them. Dai's just like, Vern's not dead. I need to find Vern. Boom! Vern just going, shit, he's strong. I can't. If I only had my other arm, I could beat him. It's like, maybe not with my other one arm, I could beat him. I can only do one thing. Hand and eye, rip some shit out. Then the fucking dragon thing that's locked away in hell is just like, oh shit. Vern's using the secret power of the prison eye. That foe must be fucking powerful. Alright. Goes back to Vern. He re-transforms into another, bigger self. He's now a fucking superior being thing, which looks like his fucking castle. And he's now just fighting Dai. He's like, alright, Dai. I'm ready to slap mess with you. And just I was like, shit, you transformed? Okay. They do a fist fight. It's like, so this is your true body. No, you idiot. My body's here. This is just a thing I put my body on top of to fight you. Okay. Continue to fight. Dai and him slap around each other for a bit. Dai's losing. Dai uses his Kamehameha. Hits Vern. Doesn't do shit. And it sets up for them to have their final fight with Dragonborn, Dai, and giant stone mecha Vern.
I hate this fucking show. I hate this fucking show. Thank Christ it's about to end. One episode left.
And here to think, 2 years ago, if you just stayed out of the script after like episode 3, I would have never watched this series.
I blame myself every day. Every time I have to listen about this show, I blame myself more and more.
Because I was thinking that I was watching episode 99, I was like, shit, I've watched a 100-episode series of a series I probably never watched for our podcast.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for you. I'm sorry for myself. And I'm sorry for all the listeners.
I don't know. I feel like over this like 2-year span, I think we've gotten some pretty decent quotes from me trying to describe these scenes.
That's true. All right, favorite episode of the week.
Gundam.
Since I didn't get to say it before, and I only get to say it one time only, one last time, I'll say Summertime Rendering, since we have multiple episodes to pull from.
Yeah.
We won't do episode ratings this week because we have so many fucking episodes. Next week, when we're back on to one episode a week, for each show,
yes,
we'll go back to doing episode ratings next week. We just had a lot to lay the groundwork on and just kind of talk about. All right, so let's get into manga ratings and wrap this show up ever so beautifully. Okay, kicking things off with One Piece 1063. I would give it's a very interesting place right now with One Piece and where we're at the moment. So I'd give this one an 8 personally. My Hero was on a break this week, but I will say the last few chapters have been Absolutely incredible. So fucking good. But I can now feel like I can officially say that mine and Josh's train has unfortunately derailed and we have crashed and burned.
Yeah.
It took a long time coming, but it finally happened. We have now crashed this train and we have burned, unfortunately. That is what it is. Black
And it doesn't
Clover.
help. It doesn't help the fucking author likes to tease that
Oh,
shit when he
I
knows the
know.
fans think that.
Yeah,
Because he
he
teased it
trolled
hard.
the
He
fuck
also
out of
teased it
us.
hard with the fucking UA trader
I know.
when that finally became relevant again.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, like I've said before when it came to this train Josh and I were on, right? It was either going to make it to the station because there's too many clues, or Hikoshi is one of the biggest trolls in manga history. And we've now learned the answer to that. He's one of the biggest trolls in manga history. Because there is no way in fucking hell that he did not purposely just try to troll us with the amount of clues and things that he put in this series to point towards what we thought this train was. I mean, that's being real. There's a long list of things where it's like supporting that this is a thing, and we have been trolled. So, you know what? I'm not even mad about it because, like, I applaud the level of troll. Like, I'm here for that. Like, I love it, honestly. Black Clover 341. I give it an 8, honestly. I kind of like where we're going right now. It feels kind of weird since it's considered the last arc, you know? But I do like where we are right now.
Itachi the second.
Accurate. JJK 201. What the hell's going on?
What the hell? Oh, right.
No, I have not caught up. I'm legitimately asking
This
you what the
series
hell's
is
going
fucking
on.
wild.
Still have not caught up.
So I will give it an 8 just because after the whole random bullshit that was these fights that we were very unsure about, it only leads to Ghetto recruiting the power that is America.
What?
Exactly.
Oh god, I guess I need to catch up and see what the fuck you're on about. All right, what would you rate it? Oh, you gave it an 8. You gave it an 8. Sorry. All right, Mission Yozakura Family 150. I would give this one probably a 7. I think a 7 works. Undead Unluck 131. I would give this one a 9, honestly. I'd give the last chapter a 9. I'd give the chapter before that a 9. These past few chapters have been awesome, bro.
Let's say how many chapters does it have? Because it's in its final arc too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's at 131, and we're now about to begin the next time loop with arc. This time, Fuko being the one that's going to do it with, obviously her being Unluck and Undead and Andy. I mean, he'll just be alive for it, and he'll be alive and alone for 20,000 years or so before he gets to potentially meet Fuko again. So I mean, these past few chapters have been very, very good. Nice little emphasis on Victor and his relationship with Unjustice. I always forget her name. Nice little focus on that. So I mean, very good past few chapters for sure. Mashle 128.
7.
I'll give it a 7 strictly because I love how the last like 3 chapters have all, I mean, more than that, but these last 3 specifically have all ended with the final panel of just Mash passed out. I've enjoyed
the fuck out.
Yeah, I've enjoyed that. So I'll give it a 7 for that, I guess. Sakamoto 91. Give me a 9 on this one.
I would take a 9. Yeah, it was great. The return of Skinny Moto.
Yeah, Skinny Moto is back, baby. Let's go. Let's see. Elusive Samurai 82.
I'll give it a 7.
Blue Box 73.
Give it an 8.
Give it 8 as well. P6 53.
I'll give it a 6.
Akane-Banashi 34.
Give it a 8.
Chainsaw Man 107.
I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, 7 or 6 from me personally. Kaiju on a break this week. Be back next week. Spy Family 69. I give it a 9, honestly. I laughed my ass off at Anya's little plan where it's just like, I'm not Uggo, I'm Totes Adorbs, and
Right, okay, that's what it
yeah,
was.
and the
Yeah.
teacher was just like, yeah, you're right, you are Totes Adorbs. You, however, young man, you are very Uggo.
Right,
We
I
take
know.
Uggoness very seriously at this school. And Andy's like, wait, he's not Uggo, he's just a piece of crap.
Oh, in that case.
I lost my shit at those couple panels, so I'll give it a 9.
I'll give it an 8 because I assume we're gonna get to see Cure again going, "You touched my Anya?"
Basically. Tokyo Avengers 274.
What the fuck?
Bro, I'm saying. Man, I'm not kidding, that dude. What the hell?
I'm going hard on. All right, so let's wrap this all up in a nice little pickle.
Yeah. For real, for real.
I'll give it a 9.
I give it a 9 as well. Rent a Girlfriend 256. Not a whole lot happened in this one personally. I think probably like a 6 or a 7 is probably warranted. Nothing really exciting happened on this one.
So what point does it become Rent a Girlfriend and instead Rent a Wife?
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. Maybe like 300. We'll see.
Okay.
Eden Zero 212. All right, so I finally caught back up to Eden Zero. I was behind like 4 or 5 chapters. And all I gotta say is like, holy shit, where the fuck is he coming up with these random ass ideas?
I don't know, but the series is where I felt like it was ending. Feels like we may get another arc or two.
I feel like it's gonna end personally. Because like I have noticed just over time of tracking it, Eden Zero manga sales just steadily going down and down and down. So I feel like it's probably ending, but Jesus Christ, where the hell are we right now with this? This story is like, there's so many random ass plot points coming in. I will give some massive credit to the last like 2 chapters though. I always had that little thought in the back of my head involving the character,
Yeah.
I always had that thought a little bit that, oh, what if they're actually kind of an asshole? But at the same time, that thought was wiped away very quickly. So if this is like hard set for sure and it's locked in, it's happening, and we're not going to get some bullshit plot twist of, oh, sorry, I know I said that for a couple chapters and all, but that's not actually the case. Here's the actual one, you know what I mean? But if this character is actually like our main enemy, like, I give some props. I didn't really see it coming. I genuinely didn't. It was kind of there a little bit when the character's introduced. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It was there then. But then as like we got more focus on the character, more backstory on the character, more lore on the character, I wiped that thought away. So I will say I did not see this coming, and I will give credit to that.
Yeah, no, this has done several hard flips within the last 6 chapters, and just sort of like,
Yep.
all right.
Yep. I give it probably honestly an 8. Mostly giving props to that plot twist.
I give it a 7.
7 Deadly Sins, Four Nights of the Apocalypse, Chapter 81. So I gotta say this, 7 Deadly. There's a lot of things I like about the series of 7 Deadly. The more obviously the manga, more than anime it became dog shit. I know there's a lot of aspects about this story as a whole that I thoroughly very much enjoy with the characters and character interactions and stuff. But I think I haven't. I'm not gonna lock it in for sure, but I low key think I like Four Nights of the Apocalypse as a series a lot more than 7 Deadly Sins, like immensely more. There's just like little vibes that I see from like the one thing that I've noticed quite a bit with like our main group here of Percival and his 3 friends, whatever. Dude, it gives me like hardcore like Dragon Ball vibes, like Dragon Ball, where like Percival's like Kid Goku, the one kid who deals with poison stuff, is like Krillin. Donnie is fucking Yamcha, 100%. And then the chick is obviously like Bulma. Like that's how I view this group of 4, and it's super fascinating to me, and like that's the dynamic that I personally see, and it's just super cool. I like all the other characters like Lancelot and stuff. Lancelot, like you're getting more and more of like this chapter and the chapter before, more of teases of, this dude's fucking strong. Because it was okay. I will say this: she has not come back, but she was referenced. Still have not brought her back, but that situation was actually finally referenced again when Lancelot was thinking about it. And it's just like, he thought about where, all I had was the text though. Didn't even have a picture of her. And all it was, I'm in love with you, Lancelot. And Lancelot's just like, what the hell do you expect me to how to take that? You're like my big sister and like my master. How the hell do you expect me to? He's thinking himself about that situation, and then it gets immediately dropped after a page. But as soon as I saw that pop up, I'm like, oh, so we are gonna reference this. We are coming back to this. But like in terms of teases of his character, so like when it came to that situation, they were gone for like 3 years, right? When he was being, or might have been 5. Yeah, it might have been 5. Where they were like, training, and that's when she fell in love with him and stuff. Lancelot, not Lancelot, Tristan talked about that as well, where it's just like before he randomly left, me and him were like evenly matched and stuff, and then when he came back, he was just landslide stronger than me. It's quite frustrating, honestly, but if there's anyone that's going to beat Arthur, it's going to be him, because Lancelot is just dog shitting on Arthur throughout like these couple chapters before Arthur ends up retreating. Not retreating like he knows he's losing, but he's still keeping his composure of like, oh, I can kill you, even though you're beating the living fuck out of me right now. So I'm really enjoying Four Knights of the Apocalypse. I give 81 a 9, honestly. I've really enjoyed this series so far. Unordinary 279.
I'll give it an 8.
Give it 8 as well. Weak Hero 212.
Give it a 7.
I'll give it a 7, but I really enjoyed some of these past few chapters.
Yes.
Very good. Eleceed 191.
8.
Down to Earth 117. I give this one a 9, honestly. This is pretty interesting couple chapters we've had. Starting to more dive into God, his name just left me. Starting to draw more into like his backstory with his previous relationship that horribly fucked him up, whatever. Where Zay wants to like, because she can see memories of people, right? When they like touch foreheads, and she's like, show me a time when she was not, she's just like, she doesn't know, obviously. She's like, show me when Delilah was nice to you like you claim, because I don't know. She's not like being a bitch about it. Very innocent. I legitimately do not know. I want to know. So like, he's trying to show her various things, but each thing that he tried to show her ends up just her being a massive bitch, like a massive bitch to him. And it's just like that, he slowly started to realize, oh fuck, she really was a massive bitch to me. So it's been a fascinating little couple chapters. So next up is Mage and Demon Queen and Immortal Weakling. Did not read these recent chapters, so no ratings there. Favorite chapter of the week?
Sakamoto.
Oh, Undead and Luck. Undead and Luck has been so damn good recently. Oh my god, it's been so good. All right. Longer episode today. Almost 2 hours, actually. Almost a 2-hour episode. It'll be shorter next week. We had a lot to kind of dive into and digest this week. We had to catch up on a lot of things, back after a couple weeks.
Split it up to 4 parts.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be all right. They'll be okay. Listeners will be okay. All right. So Zach, anything else you want to chat about, or are we ready to hit the music and get out of here?
You gonna buy one of those Mage and Demon Queen plushies I showed you?
I might. We'll see.
For anyone who doesn't know, you can go to Makeship and look up Webtoons stuff, and they actually have 2 campaigns going for 2 of the characters from Mage and Demon Queen. They're 2 MCs, actually.
Mallory and Vel.
Yes.
Yeah. Might buy it. Be a nice little touch to the collection somewhere. I did buy a lot more than I thought I was going to. I didn't think I was going to buy any of it, honestly. I bought a lot more stuffed animals than I thought I was when I was in Florida. Like, I am not a stuffed animal guy, but here I am buying multiple stuffed animals. Like, for me. Like, got some, for Christina as well, but like I get some for me specifically.
I'm not big on person, but I mean, I like Makeship stuff because I got several of those. All their stuff is very good quality.
That's that is good.
Rogue Goblin.
My favorite one that I found while I was down there, just because it's like, you don't find a lot of like merch or anything for this character very often. You just don't,
Yeah.
But I got a Silver the Hedgehog plushie. I thought that was a nice little
remember you showing that.
Yeah, I like Silver. Silver's cool. So that was a cool little find. But anyway.
Everyone tries to forget 06, so.
Yeah, everyone tries. I will never let people forget the glory that is Sonic 06. All right, I'm hitting the music. We're getting out of here. Zach, last thoughts.
All right. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can help us out by hitting that subscribe. You can also go to the AniMan Plus YouTube and hit subscribe there to help that channel build so we can stop posting everything everywhere. Thank you very much. Bye.
do everything that he said and more. And also with that AniMan Plus YouTube, hey, we're going to have an actual handle here soon because YouTube is introducing YouTube handles that's available to everyone. So that's really cool. Excited for that to come, make it easier for searchability options and stuff like that. We also have some cool things coming for AniMan Plus when we're going live, so stay tuned for the live show. I'm not putting an exact date when we're starting it like we have with a Terrible Football Show or games. It's just happening very soon, probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks, my guess. Probably 3 weeks. We'll see. Keep an eye out for that, as well as all the stuff with Agent Inc. Really excited to show you guys what we have with AniMan Plus specifically for Agent Inc., as well as everything else, just in general. Sparky 3 Games Tech, Terrible Football Show. Make sure to check out all those shows. Be a friend, tell a friend, of course. Subscribe to the channel. And with all that said, until next time, guys, hopefully you have a great one. It's a great time to be alive for anime. See ya.